Prince Charles, the abdication. And I was very conscious all the time that I had to keep up with you were conscious of the fact that she had become the sovereign, and you accorded her the sort of respect that was her due. The relationships with the sovereign and how important it was.
The royal family has always been a symbol of old-world grace, unshakable duty, and quiet endurance. But this latest moment from Buckingham Palace has left hearts trembling across Britain. In an emotional video that stunned royal watchers, the Duke of Kent, now 90, frail and still grieving the loss of his beloved wife, made a heartfelt announcement that shook the palace halls. His voice, calm yet heavy with emotion, carried the weight of a lifetime as he revealed his decision to step away from public duties. This wasn't just a goodbye, it was the end of an era. With a deep sense of pride, the Duke announced he would be passing several of his most cherished responsibilities to Catherine, the Princess of Wales, the very royal he has long admired and trusted most. He praised her unwavering grace and service to the crown, calling her a beacon of modern royalty. The timing couldn't be more symbolic, arriving as King Charles III pushes to redefine the monarchy for a new generation, focused on efficiency, compassion, and relevance in today's world. For decades, Prince Edward, Duke of Kent, has worked quietly yet relentlessly behind the scenes, often overlooked next to flashier figures, but always essential to the royal machine. After losing his wife in September 2025, following 64 years of marriage, sources close to him say the Duke has been deeply reflective, torn between his lifelong duty and the undeniable pull of age and sorrow. His decision, though bittersweet, feels like a final act of devotion, both to his late wife and the crown itself. Born in 1935 to Prince George, Duke of Kent, and Princess Marina of Greece and Denmark, he carried the weight of royal expectation from the very start. Shaped by the pain of war and the pressure of his lineage, the Duke's life has been a testament to resilience and loyalty. The Duke's military career stretched over 20 years of grit and loyalty, from the bustling streets of Hong Kong to the tense heat of Cyprus. Those years in uniform shaped him into the quiet soldier of service we see today. While he never stood in the direct line to the throne, his dedication painted the picture of a man who carried the monarchy's strength in silence, the kind of unsung hero who keeps the royal engine running when no one's watching. In the emotional video released on October 9, 2025, his 90th birthday, the Duke sat in his Kensington Palace apartment, surrounded by timeless decor and memories of a life spent in service. There were no fancy visuals, no grand gestures, just raw sincerity. His trembling hands and softened gaze said what words could not. He was ready to let go. With calm resolve, he spoke of his admiration for Princess Catherine, praising her relentless work in mental health, early childhood care, and military welfare, causes that have defined his own legacy for decades. This moment wasn't just about one man stepping down, it symbolized a royal recalibration. The monarchy, under mounting public scrutiny and questions about its relevance, is undergoing a quiet transformation, and the Duke's gesture, transferring oversight of select charitable trusts and symbolic assets from his estate to Catherine, speaks volumes. It's a move that strengthens her standing as the monarchy's modern anchor and a future queen consort in waiting. To truly understand the weight of the Duke of Kent's announcement, you've got to look back at the extraordinary path he's walked, nearly a full century of service and sacrifice. As the longest-serving royal in modern history, his life has spanned everything from the abdication crisis to the rise of social media's brutal spotlight on the crown. He's seen it all. Kings and queens come and go, the monarchy reshape itself, and the world change faster than anyone could have imagined. Throughout his reign of service, the Duke held powerful roles. From Grand Master of the United Grand Lodge of England to Colonel and Chief of the Royal Scots Dragoon Guards, and he wore each title like armour. These weren't just ceremonial honours, they were lifelines connecting the monarchy's storied past to its fragile present. Through decades of quiet diplomacy and tireless commitment, he became the bridge between generations, earning deep respect from veterans, charities, and world leaders alike. But behind the grandeur lies a sobering truth. time catches up with even the strongest. Turning 90 on October 9th, 2025, the Duke's health has become a growing concern within palace walls. Once steady on parade grounds, he now moves with care, relying on close aides for support. Insiders whisper that grief has taken its toll too. The loss of his wife left him fragile, both physically and emotionally. The passing of his beloved wife, Catherine, Duchess of Kent, on September 4th, 2025, at the age of 92, marked a heartbreaking turning point for the Duke, one that left a visible void in his life. Their love story, spanning over 6 decades, began with their grand yet heartfelt wedding in 1961, a union that fused royal duty with genuine affection. They were a pair admired for their quiet devotion, the kind of bond that seemed unshakable even amid the pressures of palace life. Her death at Kensington Palace, peaceful but deeply sorrowful, shattered the Duke's composure. At her funeral on September 16th, 2025, in Westminster Cathedral, he stood frail yet dignified, his grief written across his face for the world to see. The service, attended by King Charles III, the Prince and Princess of Wales, and many other royals, was not only a farewell, but a celebration of a shared lifetime of faith and service. The Duchess's legacy shone through her unique place in royal history, the first royal to convert to Catholicism since the 17th century, and her gentle presence at Wimbledon, where she comforted players and showed rare humility in a world of crowns and titles. For the Duke, her loss was more than emotional. It was transformative. Those close to him describe a man softened by grief, but strengthened by reflection. Royal insiders told Tatler that he has chosen to slow down, guided closely by his daughter, Lady Helen Taylor, as he shifts toward a quieter life. Yet, even in sorrow, his spirit refused to fade. Insiders quietly revealed that the Duke's emotional video wasn't a spur-of-the-moment farewell. It was carefully prepared in advance. Every word, every pause was deliberate, crafted to ensure he could address his own succession while he still had the strength to do so. By spotlighting Princess Catherine, he wasn't just naming a successor, he was making a statement of faith in the monarchy's future. His decision reflects absolute confidence in a woman who has faced her own storms with remarkable grace. After her public battle with cancer in 2024 and her inspiring return to royal duties, Catherine's resilience has made her one of the most admired figures in the royal circle, the perfect torchbearer for a new era. The video, shared across the royal family's official channels, was striking in its honesty. There were no lavish settings or scripted smiles, just the Duke, aged yet sincere, speaking from the heart. He reminisced about his beloved wife, crediting her for his inner strength, saying she was the calm in every storm. That moment transformed the announcement into something far more intimate, not just a royal handover, but a love letter to his late wife and to the crown itself. As the monarchy trims down to a smaller circle of working royals, the Duke's move feels both emotional and strategic. His trust in Catherine ensures his life's work continues through someone who embodies compassion, duty, and quiet power. But beneath that sense of order lies deep personal loss. The Duchess of Kent wasn't merely his consort, she was his anchor. Health reports from outlets like the Daily Mail painted a heartbreaking picture of the Duke, visibly shaken and frail at his wife's funeral. At 89, supported gently by family members, his grief struck a chord across Britain. Viewers could feel the pain in every glance and gesture. This wasn't just the farewell of a husband, it was the closing of a royal chapter. His loss came at a time when the monarchy itself faces its own struggles, with King Charles's health issues and the ongoing shift toward a smaller, leaner royal structure. Against that backdrop, the Duke's video carried double weight, deeply personal yet carefully strategic, crafted to protect his legacy while passing it to the next trusted guardian. By choosing Princess Catherine, the Duke made it clear that his decision was grounded in shared values, not royal politics. Her poise, compassion, and unshakable work ethic mirror the qualities he's admired for decades. Catherine's growing influence in patronages, particularly her involvement with the All England Lawn Tennis Club, echoing the Duchess of Kent's Wimbledon legacy, ties her story directly to his late wife's, and her consistent advocacy for military families perfectly honors the Duke's decades of armed service. In the video, his praise for her was warm and unmistakable. He looked into the camera and said she had done a great job in her royal duties, commending her resilience and grace through every challenge. The 5-minute video itself was a masterstroke of royal messaging. It opened with black and white clips of a young Duke in uniform, confident, commanding, before smoothly fading into his present-day self, seated and reflective. Released on his 90th birthday, it coincided perfectly with King Charles's surprise announcement of a royal celebration, as reported by Yang. But beyond the symbolism, the Duke made his intentions clear. He was officially transferring oversight of several key trusts and patronages to Catherine. These included military affiliations, engineering institutions, and long-standing charitable endowments. The Duke's decision to choose Catherine was no accident. It was a deliberate, calculated move that speaks volumes about the monarchy's future. As the destined queen, Catherine represents everything the royal family needs right now: stability, dignity, and grace under pressure. Since her recovery, her popularity has skyrocketed, and the Duke clearly sees her as the natural bridge between the monarchy's storied past and its uncertain future. In the video, his tone is strikingly tender as he refers to her as the ruler I have always loved, a heartfelt line that left audiences stunned. It wasn't romance. It was deep admiration, the kind born from decades of watching her evolve into the steady force she is today. Catherine, Princess of Wales, has become the living embodiment of a modern royal, composed, relatable, and relentless in her duty. From her early years supporting children's hospices to her headline-making initiatives like the Royal Foundation Centre for Early Childhood, she's turned soft causes into powerful movements. Her 2025 appearances, Trooping the Colour, Wimbledon, and countless charity events, proved she's back stronger than ever after her health battle. The Duke's public endorsement only magnifies her stature, presenting her not just as a participant, but as a future custodian of the Crown's values. Reports from the Express even highlighted how she personally attended the Duchess of Kent's funeral, reinforcing the genuine bond between the families, one built on respect, empathy, and quiet strength. By handing over his roles, the Duke is doing more than retiring. He's reshaping the monarchy's very rhythm. His trust in Catherine alleviates pressure on other senior royals like Princess Anne, creating balance within the royal workload. It's a thoughtful, forward-looking gesture that brings efficiency to a centuries-old institution. As Town & Country noted, his retirement marks the end of a chapter, but it also opens a new one defined by strategy and renewal. The Duke's emotional October 2025 announcement wasn't just a retirement message. It was a moment steeped in royal history, echoing decades of quiet endurance and change. His video resonated like a bridge between eras, blending the grace of the past with the calculated evolution of a modern monarchy learning to adapt. For generations, the Kent family has operated just outside the glare of the royal spotlight, carving its own identity away from the main line. Independent, understated, yet undeniably royal. This distance from the centre of power has allowed the Kents to shape their lives with rare authenticity, a balance between duty and freedom that few royal families have ever achieved. Prince Edward, the Duke of Kent, born in 1935, carried the weight of responsibility from a heartbreakingly young age. At just 6 years old, tragedy struck. His father, Prince George, Duke of Kent, perished in a 1942 plane crash during wartime service. That loss didn't just make Edward a duke. It made him a symbol of resilience, forced to grow up faster than anyone could imagine. That resilience has defined his life ever since, reflected in his steady devotion to service even when he stood far from the throne. His children, George, Earl of St Andrews, Lady Helen Taylor, and Lord Nicholas Windsor, embody this legacy of quiet independence. Much like Prince Edward and Sophie, the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh, who shielded their children, James and Lady Louise, from royal pressures, the Duke of Kent instilled in his family the importance of living authentically rather than ceremonially. George, now the Earl of St Andrews, has built a respectable career in academia and diplomacy, working as a trustee for several charities while maintaining an impressively low public profile. Lady Helen, once a fashion ambassador, lives a life that fuses privilege with independence, attending cultural events but avoiding the pomp of palace duties. These choices reflect a deliberate evolution, one that the Duke and Duchess of Kent championed by allowing their children to step away from the relentless scrutiny faced by senior royals. Their philosophy mirrors that of Prince Edward and Sophie, the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh, who, as the BBC reported in 2020, chose not to grant HRH titles to their children, James and Louise, in order to prepare them for independent lives. Historically, the Kent family's trajectory aligns with other royal branches, redefining their place within a transforming monarchy. For the Duke, personal loss has always been a catalyst for reflection. Just as the death of his father in 1942 thrust him prematurely into public duty, the passing of his beloved wife in September 2025 marks another moment of introspection, one centered on legacy and continuity. Then, the monarchy rallied around young Edward to preserve stability. Now, he extends that same trust to Catherine, whose public approval, according to 2025 YouGov polls, rivals that of the most admired royal figures of past generations. This transition echoes other quiet recalibrations in royal history. Princess Margaret's graceful retreat from public life, or the Gloucester's enduring yet understated service, examples of how secondary royals have long balanced duty with personal freedom. The Duke's decision also reflects the monarchy's broader adaptation to contemporary expectations. King Charles III's streamlined vision, articulated since his 2022 accession, prioritizes efficiency but often risks overextending the remaining working royals. By entrusting his patronages to Catherine, the Duke safeguards his contributions while easing the crown's load. Unlike Prince Philip's retirement in 2017, which left a temporary vacuum in royal representation, this carefully planned handover ensures continuity. The Kent family's tradition of measured involvement offers a model for how the modern monarchy can maintain heritage without rigidity. Catherine's integration of the Duke's charitable legacy into her existing portfolio, spanning mental health advocacy, early childhood initiatives, and military welfare, cements her standing as both a bridge to the past and a symbol of renewal. Her acceptance of these new responsibilities reinforces the monarchy's cohesion, countering narratives of division that have lingered since the high-profile departures of figures like Prince Harry. The Duke's decision, shaped by decades of observing Catherine's transformation from a poised young bride to a confident future queen, conveys a trust that transcends protocol. It is both a personal endorsement and a strategic acknowledgement of her ability to carry the institution forward with grace and conviction. This moment also places Britain's monarchy in conversation with its European counterparts, where younger royals, such as Prince Joachim of Denmark and Princess Madeleine of Sweden, have stepped back to pursue private lives. The Kent family, long attuned to this trend, exemplifies the same balance between service and self-determination. Yet Britain's monarchy, standing on a global stage, faces far higher stakes. The Duke's thoughtful handover to Catherine ensures his legacy remains aligned with an evolving royal institution, one that seeks to blend tradition with modern sensibility while respecting the personal autonomy of its members. Delivered in a poignant video message on his 90th birthday, October 9th, 2025, the Duke of Kent's announcement marks both the twilight of his distinguished tenure and a defining moment for the monarchy's future. By entrusting key patronages and symbolic elements of his life's work to Catherine, Princess of Wales, he guarantees that his decades of service will continue to resonate, carried forward by a woman widely regarded as the embodiment of modern royal duty. This gesture, steeped in personal faith and strategic foresight, secures the Duke's legacy while inviting reflection on how the monarchy itself must evolve amid unprecedented scrutiny and change. Catherine's acceptance of this mantle is far more than ceremonial. It is a quiet testament to her ascent as one of the royal family's most influential figures. Her journey, from commoner to future queen consort, has been defined by dignity and resilience, particularly through her cancer diagnosis and recovery in 2024. The Duke's decision to pass his patronages, including his long-standing ties to military organizations and charitable trusts, aligns seamlessly with Catherine's existing commitments to mental health, early childhood development, and veterans' welfare. This synergy ensures that the causes closest to his heart will continue to thrive under her stewardship. The broader implications of this move echo across the monarchy's evolving framework. King Charles III's vision of a streamlined royal household, while pragmatic, has revealed vulnerabilities as fewer working royals bear an ever-growing share of the public burden. The Duke's retirement, as noted by Town and Country, underscores the necessity of strategic succession planning. By empowering Catherine, the institution gains a dynamic leader capable of bridging tradition with modernity. Her connection to younger generations, amplified through digital-first initiatives like the Royal Foundation's online campaigns, positions her as the face of a forward-looking crown. This transition also raises questions about the next generation of royals. The Duke's children, including Lady Helen Taylor, have largely chosen private lives, echoing the approach of Prince Edward and Sophie's children, James and Louise. Catherine's expanded role may inspire these younger royals to reconsider their paths, balancing personal freedom with renewed purpose. Historical parallels abound. The Duke's own assumption of responsibility after his father's untimely death in 1942 exemplified the monarchy's ability to adapt through carefully managed transitions. His current decision reflects that same foresight, an understanding that stability is born not of rigidity, but of renewal. Public reaction, especially on platforms like X, reveals a wave of admiration for the Duke's lifetime of quiet service and optimism for Catherine's expanded influence. Many praise her warmth and authenticity, qualities that mirror his understated dedication. Still, some voices question whether the monarchy can maintain its relevance without broader reform. The Duke's choice gracefully sidesteps that debate, instead emphasizing continuity through trust and shared values. As the Duke steps back from public life, his final message leaves both reflection and anticipation in its wake. Will Catherine's leadership redefine royal service for a new era? As one chapter of royal history closes and another begins, the Duke of Kent's quiet farewell reminds the world that true legacy lies in those who continue the work with grace. Catherine's ascent marks not just succession, but renewal, a bridge between the monarchy's past and its promise. If you found this story insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth royal updates and untold moments from behind the crown.